Hi students, and welcome to week 2 in your online general psychology course. This weather has taken us on a ride, it sure has. So hopefully last week you stayed warm with those very, very chilly mornings. And this week I think is going to be a roller coaster of weather also. So let's take a look at your week 2 module. So of course, just to recap, last week being week 1, you had your introductory assignments. Thank you for doing those. It's so helpful for me to get to learn a little bit more about you and how I can better serve you as your professor. So thank you for taking the time to introduce yourself and filling out the questionnaire. I hope by this time you've figured out how to set up your Connect account. Remember, your Connect account is where you read your book, as well as where you will access some of the assignments, and we'll start doing that this week. So if you haven't done that, just a real quick refresher, you can go back and watch last week's video for a more detailed instruction. But you'll go right here to McGraw-Hill Connect, click on that, and it will prompt you through to set it up. Now, from here on out, I really stress the importance of navigating the course through the modules button and then scrolling down to the week that we're currently on. Like for this week, it's week 2, and only using the McGraw-Hill Connect when you're wanting to read your textbook. Remember, your book has that white cover with an orange slice on it. And you'll click on that to read, and then come back to Canvas and then go to this module here, okay? Because everything is in this module that you need for the week. If you stick out and Connect, there's so many assignments that are possible, but you don't need to do them all. So this will keep you very focused. And you have my word, if it's not in the week's module, it's not an assignment that is required. So use this module as your checklist, okay? So, and this will look consistent from here on out. More or less, obviously, the chapters and the assignments will change, but the structure of what you'll find in the module. So the video will be right here. You'll always kind of have a, just kind of a, here's your learning outcomes for this chapter, here are the assignments, but you can see the assignments here. This is the PowerPoint slides for chapter 1. And so I'll always provide those. King is the author of your textbook, and then you can see chapter 1 right here in the middle, and you'll see that consistently throughout the course. This week, I have provided a micro lecture over structuralism and functionalism. And the reason I have done that is because you have an assignment over structuralism and functionalism. So sometimes I'll do a quick little video of me lecturing over a topic in hopes that will help you better understand that concept. So I picked those concepts that I know that have been a little muddy for students in the past to provide just a little bit more learning around a topic. So you have that micro lecture here. So you can see none of these are assignments so far, right? How do I know that? Because there's no date or point value underneath them. But this next one does have a point value and a due date. So here's where your assignments are. And I need to take this out. Sorry, that's why I paused a while ago. I realized that there sometimes old assignments sneak in, and I delete them out, and they have a way of making their way back in there, just like that one did. So this is a more accurate view. Sorry about that. So this week, what you have as far as assignments is this writing assignment, which is over historical influences in early schools of thought. I'm going to go over that in just a minute. You have your first Connect assignment over classification, which will be over structuralism and functionalism. Don't forget your micro lecture here. And then your chapter 1 post-test. So 3 total assignments, and one of those is a writing assignment. The other 2, your post-test and your structuralism, functionalism, are multiple choice. So let me just show you what it will look like on your Connect assignment. So remember how I said, stay here in Canvas, use the module. Even though this assignment is in Connect, When I click on it, I am going to be prompted to launch out into Connect. It will do the same for you. So as I launch out into Connect, and yours is going to come up, not that, but yours is going to come up with the questions here, okay? And so you can see it's only one question, right? It's not that big of a deal. You're going to do some drop and match of this. Sometimes, if you're working on a tablet, you don't realize there's some more choices down here for, just how it populates on tablets. So just make sure you use the scroll to see the whole complete picture. Okay, so that is your structuralism, functionalism. It's out in Connect. Once you have completed it, you have a submit button. So make sure you hit submit so that it knows to send the grade to Canvas. Okay, so if you don't hit submit, it's gonna not know that you are not wanting to do another attempt on it, and it will show as you haven't completed it, and there's no grade in the grade book. So once you are happy with your grade, most of the time I give you 2 attempts on assignments, so you'll hit that submit. Once you do that, go back to Canvas, go back to modules. I wish it went right back to where you are. Sorry, sometimes it can be a little clunky. Scroll down to week 2 and we're back to where we are, okay? The quiz is very much what I just showed you. You're gonna click on it. It's gonna prompt you to launch into Connect. You're going to take the quiz. You're going to submit the quiz and then come back in here, whatever, to finish up the module that we are in. Let's take a look at this historical influences in early schools of thought. This does not live in Connect. This is right here in Canvas, so you're not going to be prompted to launch. And you can see this is my measurement for our student learning outcome. That's what SLO stands for, number 2. And so what I'm going to have you do, and I always probably overkill it with information, but you can see the skills and knowledge. I always want you to know why I'm having you do an assignment, and hopefully justify that for you. But this week we are learning about chapter 1 is over what is psychology. So you're going to learn the definition of psychology as you read and view the PowerPoint. You're going to start getting some key names in the field of psychology. Some of those are Wilhelm Wundt, William James, Charles Darwin, Mary Whiton Calkins, Charles Henry Turner, et cetera, et cetera. And so what I want you to do is just choose one of the psychologists that is mentioned above. I'm also okay if there's one that I didn't hit that you read about in your textbook, you can choose that one too. And I just want 3 paragraphs. So paragraph 1 will be over question 1, paragraph 2 will be over question 2, and paragraph 3 will be over question 3. So you can see those right here. So the first paragraph, you're just going to give me kind of the background of the person when they were born, what influenced them when they were growing up. Just as you read about that theorist, give me the synopsis of who they are. In the second paragraph, you're going to tell me how they influence the early schools of thought that shape psychology. That's what you're going to be learning about in chapter 1. So as you deep dive into the psychologist that you choose, you're going to kind of see that connection, and it will talk about, oh, they were associated with this school of thought, and this is why they believed in that school of thought. So you're going to find that information very easily. And then the third paragraph is about their contribution. If I chose, for instance, Wilhelm Wundt, he set up the first psychological laboratory. So obviously I would talk about that being his major contribution to the field of psychology. So 3 paragraphs. What you're going to learn about me is I'm always going to tell you what I'm looking for. And in this assignment, I don't have a word count. I want you to answer these 3 questions in 3 paragraphs thoroughly. Okay, so depending upon what theorist you choose, that might be in some cases a little, you might have more to write about Darwin than, for instance, you do about Calkins. So it's hard for me to expect you to meet a certain word count. So I am looking at you being thorough. I've been in this field for 25 years. I know these psychologists inside and out and what is available out there for them. So I know what you're capable of finding and how much you should write. And a paragraph will suffice. And if you want to write longer, I'm always fine with that. Don't worry about your paragraphs being put into any format into APA or anything like that. I'm simply asking for 3 paragraphs. But this is where we start practicing with APA referencing. And APA stands for American Psychological Association. You have some information in those early modules above week 1 and week 2 that will tell you. I will tell you that the website OWL Purdue, so OWL Purdue, as in Purdue University, is a great resource for APA. There's many out there. Hey, I know you're just learning APA. I don't expect you to be perfect. This is our first assignment where I'm asking you to reference an APA. So I may make some corrections. I'm looking for your effort. You're not going to fail this assignment because you're learning how to do APA referencing. But I want you to do your best attempt at it. And when I say referencing, what I'm talking about, because you don't have to write your 3 papers in any particular APA format or word count or what have you, but I do expect you to reference, which in MLA you might call that citing. It's kind of the same thing. But I want you to tell me, where did you get your information from? So after your 3 paragraphs, and it doesn't have to be on a separate page, in alphabetical order by the author's last name or by the reference's title, if you don't have an author, for instance, I want you to give me the resources you used to write those 3 paragraphs. So obviously, you're not pulling this from your own knowledge base. So we need to reference that. Again, it doesn't, we're learning together. So I will make corrections. I will tell you, what you need to do differently with that referencing, but don't get so hung up on that because it's your first assignment that you're doing it in APA format that you, feel uncomfortable. Okay. I'm here to teach you, and you can certainly reach out to me if you have questions about that, but do your best. It's not worth tremendous amounts of points to get those citations perfectly, those references perfectly. However, if you neglect to provide a reference, you're going to lose, those points off the top. If you attempt to do your best at them and try your very best, you're going to gain most of the points. Okay, fair. Hopefully that, is clear. When you're writing your 3 paragraphs, just a few tips. You're a college student. I expect it to be college level grammar and spelling, etc., punctuation and all of that. So, just make sure that you're writing at college level for your 3 paragraphs. Down below, you can find the grading rubric. So how I am grading, this overall. Okay. So good luck on your structuralism, functionalism question, your writing of this assignment right here, and then your quiz. Those 3 assignments for this week due on Sunday of this week. So let me go back to the module very quickly here and just show you what I'm looking at. So these assignments right here, okay? Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you out. I also just included for fun, because in this chapter, it talks about careers in psychology, this website that does a great job of providing some additional information about careers in psychology, but there's not an assignment attached to it. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We have had such a strong start. Let's keep it going, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. Take care.